Hello, friend, and welcome back to my studio. So you want to understand art better, huh? Well, I'm an artist myself, and I've made a video that I'll link in the description that goes over the beginner's basics of how to understand art. Go check it out if you haven't seen it already. But if you're looking to dive a little deeper, then you're in the right place. In this video, I'm going to talk about some more intermediate ways of understanding art. The basics are all about what a piece of art is. But this video is all about why a piece of art is. I'm going to teach you 3 key questions to ask to understand any piece of art at a deeper level. But first, if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and do that. It helps support the work I do and keeps me making videos like this one. Thank you for your support. Now, when you're in a painting or scrolling through your feed and you come across a work of art, a sculpture or a painting that you find interesting, but you can't quite say why it's interesting, remember to ask a few questions. You've already identified the basics: what it is, what colors are in it, and what it's titled. But maybe that's not enough. Now you have to ask, what does the artist say about it? The easiest way to find this information is through the artist's abstract, a little paragraph description near the artwork. Not all artworks have one, and often the artwork and the abstract become separated online, so give it a Google if you don't see it nearby. Every abstract will say different things about the artwork. Some artists simply describe the materials used. Some artists tell you the process that they used to get the result. And some artists will tell you why this painting made them cry in the bathroom on their mother's birthday. In any case, this question should help you gather context for the work. Take this painting by Maria Primachenko, commonly titled "A Tiger Entered the Orchard." The full title of the piece provides more of a story, with a tiger entered the orchard and is delighted that the apple trees have borne fruit. Apples are plentiful. By the title alone, I can gather a lot about what this painting is supposed to mean, but I don't even have to guess very far, because the abstract I first saw with the piece explained that this painter uses gardens and orchards as symbols of happy places and nature, which harmoniously coexists with man and bestows its abundance on everyone. It goes on to say that we can connect the daily toil of man with the life-giving power of nature, which allows its rebirth. This abstract being a longer one, it even continues on to the point that the tiger is a symbol of the mysterious and wild, and it could be a humanized beast, and that the work overall contains humor and irony, as well as a strong belief that art can show the world as it should be. That's a lot from an artist statement. From asking what the artist has to say about the piece, I gathered a lot of information, largely from someone else interpreting the art for me. Many abstracts are not written by the artist, but by someone who loves the artist. They all still offer valuable insights into the work, but the abstracts all have to be followed by the second question: do you agree? This is the question that matters the most to your understanding of a work of art. Whether it's the artist themselves or someone explaining the artist, the abstract is ultimately someone else's opinion about the art, and it's time to start forming your own. I'll give 2 examples. Maybe I agree with the abstract for this piece. I think that this tiger looks awfully human, and I can see an impish spirit in it. I think that the apples are certainly abundant and seem to make the tiger happy, which could suggest the continuation of a cycle of life. However, I could also just completely disagree with the artist's statement. I could say that, no, this tiger is in no way a symbol of anything mysterious and wild. It is fat and happy, and I think it's because of the abundance of apples that it's made him slothful. I think the apples are there to show the greed of the tiger, that he'll destroy the harvest and perhaps use the trees as a scratching post, leaving the cycle of life broken due to the sins of mankind as represented by the tiger. All of these opinions are founded in the context of the work, and all of them are valid and right. This work of art could mean those things to me, and nothing the artist or curator says to me would change that fact. But be careful not to entirely disregard all given context. Whether you agree or disagree, you now have more of an explanation about what's going on in the work. I said in my last video that all opinions of art are valid, and they are. but there's more to it. An informed opinion will always have deeper soil under it than an uninformed one. If I walked up to this piece and didn't find any context, I could decide it's a weird-looking guy with a tail in the trees in the fall, and maybe it means that mankind falls like leaves? And yes, that's technically a valid interpretation, because that's how I could be interpreting it to myself. But my informed understanding goes deeper and understands more of the work than my contextless one. With the context, I can connect more symbols from the same artist in other works. With that context, I can place the themes of the piece next to another piece and see more connections between them. And with the context, I can understand more about what I'm actually connecting with. I don't really connect a lot with the fall of mankind like leaves, but I do connect deeply to an abundant orchard being a joyous event that nurtures life for another cycle. All of this understanding prepares me for my last question, which is, how is the work widely received? In reading an artist statement or abstract, you have one opinion, from the artist themselves or from someone who cares about their work. In questioning the statement, you gathered a second opinion, your own, and it's important to have some of that formed before you ask this third question and see what other people think about it. Some works don't have much of a public opinion, in which case you can gather basic opinions about the artist or ask the people around you for their thoughts. Anyone who works in an art gallery would be happy to discuss the piece, and many of the other viewers wouldn't mind a discussion themselves. In the painting we've been looking at, the broad opinion is that the painting is certainly emotionally evocative, but many find it too basic and accuse the artist of being self-taught in a bad way. Because I've formed my own opinion, I can now better discuss why I agree or disagree with how the work is perceived. And that is most certainly an intermediate understanding of an artwork. Because I took the time to gather opinions, my own included, I'm better educated about the work of art, and I certainly have a much deeper understanding. Let's go over all of it again with another piece. This is my painting titled Plugging in an Extension Cord. The abstract says, I decided to take the reference image for this when I was plugging in an extension cord by lamplight, and I thought about just what this would look like if my husband walked in. Then I set up my phone camera, pressed record, and got back into position. When I looked back at the scene, I connected to it. Here I was doing such a mundane, kind of unpleasant task, and look just how wonderful it is. The scattered cords and the macrame and the goofy legs sticking out from under the bed. In this, I see beauty. In this moment, I felt connected to myself in a way I've learned is hard to come by. I do meditate, I exercise, and I occasionally do yoga, but the kind of connectedness that comes from loving everything around you and the way it comes together and just embracing it with open eyes and an accepting mind, it makes me feel like a kid again, seeing all the fathomless wonders of a boring old room. So, from the abstract, I can objectively gather what the artist thinks about this work. I happen to agree. I think the warm colors are comforting, and they're so bright and vibrant, they're a little energizing. I think the still moment in frame looks very whimsical, making a dull chore kind of magical. I don't have the opinions of the masses, but I do have the opinions of a handful of people, and they tend to find it generally happy. Their impressions are generally of awe at the details and colors, and when given the abstract, they tend to agree. My sample size is small, and I have unavoidable bias, but it seems the opinions are all generally similar. Now I can say as a viewer that I understand this piece. I know what the artist thinks, and I know what I think, and I know what others think, and I am an informed and intermediate understander of artworks now. Not every work has such easy-to-find explanations. Many works lack abstracts or public opinions, but context can always be dug for on the internet, and finding opinions is as easy as finding the person nearest to you. If this helped you to better understand a work of art, please leave a comment. And if you like my work, I'll be selling this painting and a few others soon, so join my newsletter to find out exactly when. That's all for this one. I'll see you next time, friend. Bye. Point that the tiger is a symbol of the mysterious and wild.